You'd be forgiven for thinking that Bleach's presence died when the manga ended, but all you have to do is look towards the mobile app store to see where it's gone since then. Bleach Brave Souls won me over to phone games, and now a brand new game called Paradise Lost has been released. So, what do I think of it so far? I'm going to start this one off with a disclaimer. This game is very new. So new in fact, that there doesn't exist any English translation. I've been playing this game in Japanese, so whilst I've done a lot of research and tried my hardest to wrap my mind around everything over the course of dozens of hours of playing, this game is still in a language I don't understand, meaning that I'm definitely going to get some facts wrong. I really hope you're willing to give me some margin of error here, but if you don't want to, feel free to leave now. I'm going to tackle the story first, since there's not much to say. Just like Brave Souls, Paradise Lost is a recap of the story told in the anime and manga. Currently the story for this game finishes at the end of the Soul Society arc, but I have reason to believe we're going to get more in upcoming updates. The story is told in visual novel segments without any dialogue choices. This is a decent way of providing a plot recap to already existing fans, but I obviously wouldn't recommend this as your first time going through the Bleach story, as it misses out a lot of the small details and nuance. The real meat of the gameplay are real-time RPG battles, where your team of characters fight waves of enemies. You can select different moves that your characters will use, and after using said move, it'll have a timed cooldown before it can be used again. There is also a team move you can use that has a similar cooldown. Since the battles are in real time, you actually have to pay attention to what's happening, since selecting a move late means your character will also use it late, so you have to employ strategy when it comes to which order you use each attack in. Every character has a colour assigned to them, and the colours work like rock paper scissors. Both your team and the enemy team have these colours, which means that timing and ordering attacks is even more important. Each character has other strengths and weaknesses in battle too, and a lot of them are ones that line up with how the character acts in the anime. For example, Orihime can heal characters, but in return, her attacks don't do much damage, so it's best to keep her at the back of the team to be protected. The further forward a teammate is in the formation, the more likely they are to be attacked, whilst the characters closest to the back will usually be last to die, meaning that you even have to take the order of the characters in your team into account. However, what you'll actually spend most of your time doing is inventory management. This is a gacha game, meaning that the main goal of the game is summoning powerful characters, which in turn make it easier to grind for materials needed to summon for more characters. This seems like a circular process with no real end goal, and yeah, it pretty much is. There is the aforementioned story missions, but the real reason most people play is because of the character summoning. Characters are graded with stars ranging from 1 to 6. The higher the star, the better the stats they'll have, and the higher their level cap will be. You can ascend a character, which raises their star count by 1, but this takes a lot of materials. One of the materials you need are these different coloured charms, and to get them you have to do daily quests. The daily quests change which colour charm you get, but you can spend summon gems to unlock a different colour. Once you've ascended the character up, the level will reset, meaning you'll have to grind that character back up again. You can give characters items that will make them even stronger, but to ascend a character to 6 stars, that item will need to be leveled up too, which requires using various materials gained from missions. This game has a lot of different currencies you need to balance. To start a mission, you need to spend katanas. If you have a lot of people in your friends list, then you will get given quite a few katanas a day, as well as getting them from completing achievements or as a daily bonus. If your katana count gets too low, a timer will start that will give you some more. To do a GPS minigame, you need GPS tokens. When you successfully complete a GPS mission, you get some of this purple currency. You can spend some of the purple currency on different coloured crystals. Crystals are not to be confused with gems, which we'll get to in a minute. The crystals can be used to level up your character's Zanpakuto. The crystals that are the same colour as the character's attribute work better than the ones that are not. When a Zanpakuto levels up, it will change one of its character stars from yellow to red. Coins are used to perform just about any action in this game. Once you've leveled up a Zanpakuto, you can use coins to make certain attacks more powerful and effective. One way of leveling up a character is by making them participate in missions, but an even more effective way of leveling them up is by sacrificing other characters. This takes coins to do. By default, there are 2 summoning banners. The first uses coins and the second uses gems. The coin banner only allows you to summon 3 stars at the very highest, whereas it looks like the gem banner goes up to 5 stars. Since you can sacrifice characters in order to level up other characters, it looks like that's the main purpose of the coin banner, whereas the gem banner is where you'll get the 4 and 5 stars that you'll actually be using in your team. There are also event banners that use gems too. and this will be where you get characters that can only be around for a limited time. When you complete certain objectives, you will be given gacha tickets which will let you summon some weak level up fodder characters. The GPS minigame is a really simple and tedious game that involves you flicking your character into hollows until they're defeated. You only get 3 flicks per game, and there's no real depth other than each hollow having different abilities. One of them is a bullet sponge, another can negate attacks, and another can set down portals, which will interrupt the direction your character is travelling in. To start this minigame, your character needs to walk close enough to a hollow to select it. This is why it's called the GPS minigame, since the direction your character walks in is tied to your phone's GPS. But the hollows spawn so quickly that it's entirely pointless. I can tell this was quickly added in to cash in on a Pokemon Go fad, but its execution is so rushed that they shouldn't have even bothered. Not to mention the fact that the GPS is supposed to show a map of where you are, but because this game is only available in Japanese, the game doesn't actually show said map where I live. Don't worry, there's yet another game mode and currency attached to it. This is PvP mode. You can select an opponent team from a list and battle a CPU version of them. If you win, you get given substitute Soul Reaper badges, which can be used to purchase gacha tickets and katanas. When you win or lose for a PvP fight, your league score goes up or down accordingly, and if you get it high enough, you can league up, which gives you gems as a reward. However, once again, this game mode feels pretty rushed and basic because you can't actually control your teammates. The fight happens completely on autopilot with no inputs at all. Even the quick time events that happen when a character uses certain attacks have disappeared, which means this feels less like a game mode and more like a comparison of stats. I'm not exaggerating when I say this game mode has no actual gameplay. As you can probably tell by now, I've been pretty negative, bashing how game modes feel rushed or lacking in any depth. The game itself is mainly just inventory management full of microtransactions and some basic RPG combat on the side, yet I haven't been able to stop playing. And sure, this is a new game, so that's probably the reason. I haven't been able to give this game a chance to get old yet, but there are plenty of similar games that I gave up on a lot sooner. So could it be that this is a Bleach game? Well, that's definitely part of it, but there's another Bleach mobile game that's designed a lot better than this one. So why have I been playing this game so much, and what do I like about it? Well, I really like the presentation a lot. Brave Souls had a chibi art style which does look good, but I prefer Paradise Lost's more anime faithful style. The soundtrack is also far better than it has any right to be. Unfortunately, it doesn't reuse any anime tracks, but instead uses new songs that are really good, with the title screen song being the highlight. But there don't currently exist any ways of listening to the soundtrack without actually playing the game, so I haven't been able to play it during this video. Another reason is because of the recent Bleach drought. Despite once being seen as one of the most successful manga ever made, nowadays seem to have disappeared from the spotlight, with its most active communities focusing on the mobile games. As someone who got into anime because of Bleach, I really want to see it keep going despite how flawed it can be. The fact that something new that's Bleach related has happened is enough on its own to make me want to keep playing it. This has admittedly made me biased, but in this instance I think it's fine. And the reason I think this is fine is because I can only recommend this game to other people who are also really into Bleach. If you aren't a big Bleach fan, then don't bother. I highly doubt anything else here will win you over if you aren't already. So, is Bleach Paradise Lost worth playing? Well, as I mentioned, if you aren't already a big Bleach fan, then no. I'd recommend playing something like Fate Grand Order if you're looking for a better anime gacha game. But if you are a Bleach fan, not yet. This game isn't even released in English yet. The only reason I even played the Japanese version is because of the potential video opportunity and because I was curious. When the English version is inevitably released, I'll most likely get pushed back to square one again, meaning the time I spent playing is completely pointless. Not to mention that Paradise Lost has a lot of problems that might end up being fixed by the time the English version's out. Maybe by that point they'll have added some gameplay to PvP and some depth to the other modes. It's a game that's worth keeping your eye out for now, but I don't recommend actually playing it yet.